Happy 2024 movie fans and welcome to another edition of Movies. Today we're training our crosshairs on Killers of the Flower Moon, a 2023 film directed by Martin Scorsese and based on the book of the same title by author David Gran about the murder of members of the Osage Indian tribe following the discovery of oil on the tribe's Oklahoma reservation in the 1920s. The instant review straight off the bat was that the movie relied a lot on heavy characterisation, and as such the storyline takes a while to gather pace. So with a running time of 3 hours 26 minutes, you have to be patient. There is no instant gratification. You have to give the movie time to allow its flavours to percolate. If you do, you will appreciate this is an incredible piece of filmmaking and worthy of every award it's nominated for. This early, it will be my nomination for the highest Oscar awards for all of script, acting, production, editing and directing. Scorsese is a master filmmaker, and in the final accounting of his filmography, this will stand as one of his best. Speaking of Oscars, Killers of the Flower Moon feels like a direct contender for Best Picture with Oppenheimer, another period biopic sharing similar traits such as great production, relevant storyline, ensemble cast bringing their A game, excellent direction. However, where Oppenheimer jumped around with its past, present, colour, black and white storyline, either brave or confusing depending on your standpoint, and created a largely unforgettable middle section bookended nonetheless by sheer brilliance, leaving a sense the running time could be cut by at least 40 minutes or so. Killers follows a more linear storyline, allowing the sense of outrage to build, whilst at the same time giving the actors room for their characters to breathe, rather like they have opportunity to do on TV productions, and the film is all the better for it. There is never any sense that the running time will be better served by having an hour shaved off, just being plenty of popcorn. The story is a simple one. The Osage Nation, pushed off its ancestral lands and corralled onto a reservation in Oklahoma, have an upturn in fortune, quite literally, when oil is discovered in their territory in the 1920s. That much is established early in the movie with a beautiful shot of Osage Indians doing a sort of oil dance, brilliantly captured by Scorsese in slow motion, globs of black oil raining over the surrounding prairie. The Osage naturally begin to spend their wealth, at least when they are allowed to do so by bankers controlling the taps on the dollars held in trust, on cars, chauffeur driven by whites, furs, large houses with white home helps, living the life far removed from their former nomadic existence. But this isn't about the rise of the Osage, it's about their destruction. Enter white corporate greed, personified here by Robert De Niro's William Hale, an absolute snake, charming you with one hand while stabbing you in the back and robbing you blind with the other. De Niro has played black hats before, but this is one of his greatest accomplishments, a reminder that amongst the bad grandpas and other cheap comedies that seem to have peppered his later acting career, he is, at 80, still capable of delivering a stellar performance such as this. And gradually, by hook or by crook, or simply cosh, knife, gun or dynamite, the vultures circle to rob the Osage of their wealth, prizing it out of the Osage's hands and into their own. Incidentally, the film doesn't quite follow the same narrative as the book, which is largely an investigative piece, telling the same story but with the birth of the FBI as its centrepiece. Scorsese chooses instead to focus on the principal characters, Leonardo DiCaprio's Ernest Burkhart and Lily Gladstone's Molly Burkhart, as well as De Niro's William Hale, exploring their motivations, mining their emotional depths, and allowing us to love or loathe them as the Osage Nation's world is taken apart brick by brick. It's not until well into the movie, where most other films are thinking about wrapping up, that Jesse Plemons' FBI agent Tom White appears, as the Coolidge administration finally decides to act on the outrages being perpetrated in Oklahoma, to investigate and bring to justice, of sorts, those using muscle to achieve their ends. By then, however, the damage has already been done, not just by death, but also, and more insidiously, by marriage. This is where the outrage really kicks in, given how systemic was the white approach to wresting wealth from the Osage. enter DiCaprio's Ernest Burkhart, newly discharged from the army, fighting overseas in France, albeit as a cook, and looking to make something of himself under Hale's nefarious wing. And this is possibly another Oscar nomination for DiCaprio, who plays Burkhart brilliantly, without doubt, and so far, one of his greatest performances. For while De Niro's character is all Machiavellian strategist, Burkhart is largely a simpleton, which physically manifests itself, beyond DiCaprio's exceptional acting, in the prosthetics the production team used to give him a dumbed down look. The result is spectacular, with Burkhart in on Hale's purpose, yet torn by conflicting emotions, both for himself as well as for his Osage wife, who he kind of grows to love over the years, which eventually does for all of the schemers involved in the project. For Burkhart is, like other white males, instructed by Hale to marry Lily Gladstone's Molly Burkhart, with the intent that whatever should happen to Molly, who, being Indian, suffered from diabetes and needed daily administrations of insulin, or what could pass for insulin, by her husband that was prescribed by white doctors in on the scheme, Ernest would stand to inherit Molly's wealth, and so deprive one more Osage Indian of their oil gains and bring it within the white sphere of influence. Enter Lily Gladstone as Molly, and whilst De Niro and DiCaprio face some strong competition in Best Actor nominations, I'd stake my albeit meagre savings on Gladstone walking away with the Best Actress gong when the Oscars ceremony unfolds in February 2024. Her performance is scintillating, playing Molly with so much grace, poise and vulnerability. If this doesn't propel Gladstone into the A-League as she deserves to be, then this just is something else to pile on the prejudices the film itself seeks to depict. The film gradually layers on the injustices to the extent that the movie needs an outlet, and so, and not before time, the Osage's cries for help are ultimately heard by Coolidge's government, which is just the organisation handily placed in need of a road test, the newly formed FBI, here represented by Plemons' Tom White. I thought Plemons was brilliant in this, playing his part with real sincerity, but the overall operation reminded me of the way Mississippi Burning showed the FBI eventually flexing its muscles to break down by degrees the Ku Klux Klan and their sympathisers it found itself working against and amongst in 1960s Mississippi. Following arrests made, a short courtroom drama is played out by Brendan Fraser's defence attorney W.S. Hamilton and John Lithgow's prosecutor Leeward, which segues into the film's closing sequence, a stroke of genius from Scorsese, as the legal consequences for each of the characters is narrated not by white on black, short text statements amongst the end credits, but via the medium of a radio show done in the style of the time, with voiceovers, sound effects and compare narration confirming the outcome of the court decisions. In all, this is a brilliant movie. Please persevere with it. It is an exceptional film, superbly directed, using a story that deserves to be told and played out by actors on top form who are either in the twilight of their career, De Niro, their prime, DiCaprio, or the next big thing, Gladstone. We hope you value this review and that you take something from it, good or bad. We thank you for watching, hope you can subscribe to our channel, and if you wanted to leave a comment we will respond. Otherwise, do look out for more movie reviews in 2024.